Hey, sorry, caught me there in the middle of a coffee break. All right, so in the last video, we took care of setting up that our React. Why could I keep calling it my create React app? We created our React application. That's what I meant to say. And right now, it's doing absolutely nothing for us other than just saying a message on the screen and that I have I have it running on my server, not on my server, on my browser. So that's nothing, right? That's basically nothing. So we need to do some stuff with this. So we gotta add, before we go any further into adding Okta into it and stuff like that. I want to add a header or something that I can work with, some buttons and things like that. But I don't want to have to create that stuff from scratch. And I don't want it to just look black and white, vanilla. I want to give it some styling. So I'm going to add Material UI to it, but I am not going to do any kind of customization or anything at all. I'm just going to leave it just the way it comes from Material UI with the color blue that it comes with it, and just gonna leave it like that. It's just so I can have something on the screen. So if you have integrated terminal, you should have this right here, and then I can split it into another screen and then use another terminal in here. If you don't have integrated terminal, then you basically use your command line in Windows, or for us cooler people, for us the cooler people using what do you call it? Using Mac, then just pull up a regular terminal and do that. But that for me is just another window to deal with and to organize on my desktop and put it in another monitor, and it just I don't need more windows. Okay, I already have a lot of windows open at the same time whenever I'm working on something. So I'd rather have it integrated in here, and then I can use this split right here to have different ones. This one is going to be continuously working, running my application, unless I need to stop it and recompile it. But this one is going to be my installation one. Okay. And as soon as you open it while you're in here, it's always going to open at the level that you're working with. So that's good. You don't have to CD into anything. All right, so we're gonna do a bit of some installations here for Material UI. So just bear with me. I'm going to try to find this real quick. So how do we find them? So we go to Material UI, and it will tell you exactly what you need. Actually, I'm gonna go straight into installation right there. Boom, there it is. So we're gonna use npm, not yarn. So grab that right here. Yep, this one right here. Click OK. Let me open up some room here so you can see it. We're gonna install Material. We're gonna install Emotion React and Emotion Styled. And a little further, we're gonna install MUI icon Material. I don't know if I'm going to use icons. I don't think I will, but I'd rather have him just in case. You might end up using this and expanding from this, so you'll need them, but I don't think I will. But anyway, so while that's there, I'm gonna go ahead and run the installation, and that's going to install this Material stuff into what's going on there. Yeah. So warnings, those are regular warnings. It's not a big deal, nothing to worry about. All right, so just to make sure that it's working, we're now going to let's go to components, and let's go for the app bar. That's what Material UI calls their nav bar. Nav bar for Bootstrap, and Material UI calls it app bar. Is this right here? It's basically a header. All right, so we're gonna add this one actually. All right, but we're not gonna add it directly into the app. We're gonna actually create a component for it. So let's go into the source folder here and open a folder and call it components. Components, and then inside components, you're gonna open up a file in there. I'm gonna call it header.js. Make sure that it's in capital letters. Now in here, I am going to create a RAFCE. All right, so if this is not working for you, it's because you don't have this ES7 React Redux React Native snippets. This is an extension that I have in my Visual Studio Code, right? So if you don't have this extension, you won't be able to do this RAFCE that I'm doing, right? So I would suggest to install it. Okay, install that extension. If you don't know how to get to it, if you need some extra information on that, go to my Visual Studio Code extensions video that I explain this stuff. Right, I explain all of my my extensions there. But this is very helpful to have. Trust me, you'll love it. It cuts down on a lot of work. So I just put IAFC, which basically means for React Arrow Function Export Component, and I click on that, and it gives me the component structure on how it needs to be built. It gives me the import for React. It gives me the class name, not the class name, but the function name, and exports it for me and everything. And it even gives me like a placeholder to put stuff on there. So that's great. All right, so the next thing now we're gonna do is we're gonna just go ahead and start putting this stuff in there. So we're gonna use this one right here and open this up, grab this stuff right here, except for the first line, because we already have React in there, so we don't need that. I'm gonna put it in there, and we're gonna grab here, including the return, to the parentheses right there. I'm gonna copy that, and we're gonna put that in here to include the return as well. All right, we're not going to be using the icon button and the menu icon, so I'm just gonna delete that. That, by the way, is this icon right here, which we're not gonna use. And we're gonna call this coffee app. And then we're just gonna leave it like that. Yep, that's all great. Perfect. All right, I like it. All right, so this icon, a menu button, we're not using anymore, so we can get rid of that. But I do want to do a little bit of cleanup here. So this app bar right here, right now we are importing app bar from material app bar, box from material box, toolbar from material toolbar. We don't want to do that. I'd rather just call them all from material. So I'm going to turn this into a multiple component import, and nope, that's not it. And here I'm going to bring box in there. I'm gonna bring toolbar in there. I'm gonna bring typography in there, and I'm gonna bring button in there. All right, and just put my commas. There we go. I can get rid of these now. And then here I want to get rid of the app bar part, because they all don't live inside the app bar. They live inside material. So now all of these can be exported from material as a whole in one line. So I'm going to head and save that. And now that I have header in there, I'm going to go to my app.js, and inside here well, first I got to import it. So first I'm going to import React, because I know that I will eventually be using it. So I'm going to import React from React, and then I'm going to import header from components header, and I'm going to use it here as a component. Wow, there we go. Cool. All right, so if I hit save and I go to my application, where is it? In here. Give it a second for it to finish compiling. It's still compiling here, and then I should be able to see an app bar show up. Okay, which is not going to have any functionality. It's just there you go. Cool. So that makes this working. It has my button, it has the name of the application, the rest of the stuff is downstairs there. All good. All right, so material is working. Now I can go ahead and start eventually building some more stuff in here. So like, for example, right here I want to make sure that I make a I'm gonna import box and container and container from material. What is it? Material right there, from material. And now I am going to, in here, in here, I am going to put box and container. Why do I do this? Container, there we go. And I'm gonna bring my hello Lewis in there. And I hit save, and then that just gives me a little bit more padding in there, so that's okay. One more thing I want to do in here is I want to put SX, yep, SX, and inside of SX I'm gonna give a margin top of 1. That's supposed to be into double quotes like this. So this is a property of Material UI for styling a component. And again, I have another video out there that explains this stuff a little bit more. So I'm gonna give it about 8 pixels margin top, which is what that 1 means. That 1 is 1 unit, which each unit equals to 8 pixels. So that gives me a bit of a rooming here. I'm just maybe gonna give it more than that. I'm gonna give it a 3. There you go. That's a little better. All right, cool. So now we know that Material UI is working. This is basically all that you saw right now happen, which is basically styling. Nothing yet, but we have a little bit more setup to do. And the next video, we're gonna set up Okta itself to make sure that we are able to access our application, our Okta application, and then we start building in the Okta stuff. But we need to set up Okta in our application first. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Stick around.